Orina Bordhon from Contact Base. We are a social enterprise. We have been working for almost 2 years on women empowerment, and we have been working with several women entrepreneurs across east and northeastern part of the country. And we host these online sessions, which we call Mentoring Mondays and Training Tuesday. So today is our Training Tuesday session, where we focus on building capacities of first generation women entrepreneurs. We had several sessions on cybersecurity. We had sessions on communication development. We had sessions particularly on handicraft entrepreneurship, food entrepreneurship. And I think we had more than 50 sessions in last year. So we are very fortunate to have a lot of viewers, a lot of entrepreneurs regularly connecting with us, regularly connecting with experts and mentors. So thank you everyone for being with us and supporting our overall objective of building and strengthening women's leadership and participation at work and in economy. So thank you so much. And we also partner with several organizations across Nepal and Bangladesh. So we have entrepreneurs and viewers and experts from Bangladesh and Nepal also. So thank you so much. Today, we are very fortunate to have Chitralekha Biswas. So thank you, Chitralekha Di, for agreeing to be part of our session today. Chitralekha is a very promising interior designer. She has her CB design studio, and she has been working tirelessly for many years. And so we are very happy to have her on board. She has been a rock solid supporter of banglanatak.com and of our venture, of our initiative of women wielding the workplace. She was part of our very important South Asia conclave last year, where she was also one of the speaker in one of the panels where she shared her wonderful entrepreneurial journey. So while listening to her, we thought of sharing it across, and social media is the best way to actually share your story with millions of people to hear about it and also learn and learn lessons from that. So we welcome you, Chitralekha Biswas. Thank you so much. So she will be taking a very interesting session on creative entrepreneurship especially for first generation women entrepreneurs. And we are very happy to have our senior colleague, Jamil Akhtar. He has years of experience in sales and marketing, and he has been mentoring several entrepreneurs, several women entrepreneurs from our network for the last 2 years. So he will be moderating the session. So over to you, Jamil. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Orina, for setting the context and the purpose why you are meeting. And it's back to, and it's really a pleasure to be back as a moderator for these sessions, because it has been quite a while I was not doing this. So thank you very much, and I'm very happy that today we have someone whom I know. I know her journey. I know a little bit about her business also. But what I would request, and the way I want to start this session, is that if Chitralekha can take us through about the fascinating journey that she had for so many years as an entrepreneur, and before that, her journey in the corporate world. And from here, where we can build on the discussions. I have some questions which I will ask on behalf of everyone. Something related to entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurship, something related to her own industry and work, and then I'll open up the session for the others to participate in it. So Chitralekha, welcome, and if you can start and take us through your journey, so that we can we all understand, we all learn, and then we delve into some of the other insights of your business and your journey. Over to you, Chitralekha.
Right. Well, thank you so much. for that very kind and illustrative introduction, Jamilda. Obviously, you've been a part of my journey, and Bangla Natok is very much very close to my heart and the purpose that we are all trying to kind of bring together. Thank you, Arina, and everyone here. Um, I think to tell you a little bit about the journey, firstly, I would like to say that I have given myself a small little nickname, and it is called the accidental entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because I am because I am somebody who belonged to an out and out service class family, because my mother and her generations are actually in education. My mother is a teacher, all my mashis are principals, professors, so very much in the education line, and Baba was in SAIL, which is Steel Authority of India. So very much that kind of upbringing, and I think I wanted to continue it as well. I was very happy in my service life. As you know, I was in London for 11 years, where I worked with NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland. I was a real estate agent. Then I became a property valuer and interior consultant. So moving back to Kolkata, the reasons are very cliche. The reasons are missing home, wanting to make a difference back at home. So once we moved back, it was again a service journey for me. I actually joined a company which was headquartered in London within a service role. Unfortunately, some of the managerial decisions happening there clashed with my understanding of service to clients. So it was more of a compulsion that I had to move out and finish some of the incomplete projects from the previous company. And literally, I remember when I had joined that company and started the interiors division, we had started with 3 people. I left, we were 12 of us. It was a private limited by then. And also, I remember that the day I had to quit, the 12 of my colleagues also quit. And they came over to my home and they wanted to work with me. But as I said, I had absolutely zero idea. Like, I see the young generation, I see millennials, I see women and men across the board so clear, with so much clarity of entrepreneurship, that they want to do something of their own. They want to build something they can, call their own creation. I never had any such interest. And actually, while I was in the service industry, I think Jamila would agree, I had enough empowerment to feel that that company was my own. I never felt that I was, so obviously that's good leadership, that is good management from wherever I was working, specifically in London, where I had the creativity, I had the accountability, and I also got my own power and authority. So I never felt this need that I see a lot of people feel, where they're not heard, or where they feel they need to make a difference, and they can only make the difference by moving out of the company and creating something of their own. um, so that's why the accidental journey, what I mentioned. So we literally started working from our living room. I think the 10 of us, almost 8 of them are still with us. We are 9 years old now. So we started to buy laptops. So it's a little bit like a movie. Ma was making cha for everyone. We didn't know how to start. What was the first step forward? So from there on, 9 years hence, we have a 60 employees team right now across 3 branches: Bangalore, Goa, and Kolkata. But apart from that, also there are various contractors, subcontractors, skilled, unskilled laborers who are a part of our family. It's a private limited. It became a private limited a couple of years ago when we took on some international contracts. And so, yes, so that in a nutshell, I don't know if it was a nutshell or too long, is the introduction to CB Design Studio and my journey.
I think really fascinating. Someone who had such a lovely job, in London, were doing so well in corporate, and then whatever accident happens, some accident happens for good. Okay, today you employ 60 people. I mean, that itself shows the kind of work that you have done, and that's wonderful. Today you have got your branches spread across Calcutta, Bangalore, and Goa. You have some of the best HNI clients. You are servicing some of the client overseas, and making a difference for so many life, not just for your customers, for your employees. And I'm sure since you have worked there in the corporate, and seen some very good companies, you must have picked up many good ideas, many good practices from the corporate, which
Yes.
you have been able to,
Yes.
bring in your organizations, and at the
Yeah.
same time do away with some of them which are little toxic, not so good things.
Correct.
Because I
Correct.
personally spent 29 years working with various
Of course.
corporate.
Yes.
So obviously
Yes.
not everything is good everywhere. So you can need
Correct.
to bring the best from different areas. So it's a fascinating thing. I think your journey of an accidental entrepreneur from a family who are deeply rooted into educations and other things
Yeah.
are really
Yeah.
very nice. Now, I'll come to your business little later, and what are the things that you have to share. The it has been 1.5 year I've been working with the entrepreneur, especially in the rural areas, and some of the startups, mainly run by the women, not just here, even in IIM Calcutta also. After quitting my corporate life, one of the things that I see many of these entrepreneur or the budding entrepreneur, or someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, what I see is that many of them have got certain skills and different things. Someone is very good in cooking, someone is very good in in baking, someone is very good in understanding of organic food, or somebody maybe have got a good understanding of aesthetics, design, etc. And they think that they can turn it into a business things, and that is one of the reasons why they want to come and become an entrepreneur. And there is absolutely nothing wrong. And then based on their skill, they pick up an idea and they want to become entrepreneur. And I see many of them actually face a lot of challenges there. So how, where to what are the initial things that they one needs to understand, whether her skill can actually become a business model, or and what it will take to become a successful business venture. If you can talk about that.
Sure. I think there is a basic difference. I'm going to mention two words here. One is self-employed and one is entrepreneur. There are two. It's a basic difference being a self-employed person and an entrepreneur. So somebody who is good in a particular art or creativity or talent, be it technical, be it creative, be it artistic, or be it a sense of solving a gap or an issue which will help the society in the bigger, whatever be the reason. A lot of people can actually become self-employed, which doesn't essentially mean you become an entrepreneur, because being
Right.
good in your particular, suppose a home baker is somebody who can not be employed by a bigger multinational or SME or whichever, be self-sufficient and independent and run their own boutique business or their own artisanal business, but not create a company. That I feel is the main understanding, is the scalability of your product, of your idea, or of your service. So if you are good at something, like for example, you create lovely paper mache flowers, okay, what you would firstly need to understand is what is the scalability of the product? Is there a need for this product? What is the feasibility analysis of the market? Is there enough gap for you to make a big picture here, or are you just happy within your environment, within your flexibility? Because a lot of women entrepreneurs, I feel, choose entrepreneurship thinking it is going to give them flexibility, it is going to give them choice to decide their working hours, it is going to help them make a life work balance. But let me totally disillusion people and say that entrepreneurship is the worst decision you can take if you are looking at work life balance, because it is your work and it is your life. So there is no balance. It has to go together, intertwined. While you are cooking your food, you might be able to attend the conference. While you're tending to your child, you might be able to think of a business idea. If you do not have the skill set, build work into your life, then self employment, and also if the scalability is less, also if your acumen is just your talent and not business, Suppose you have a fabulous product, you've coded something, and you really think this is going to work very well for solving a traffic issue, maybe, or some gap which you think you can fill with that product. We have to feel, do we have the business acumen to take it to the right people? Or is it better to bring it to a service and be an independent consultant in that company and help them grow that particular company with your help? So, your understanding of business is, I think, 70% a part of why you should become an entrepreneur, and not just your capability or talent in one particular
Oh,
sector.
I think that's wonderful. I think you have demystified these two words of being self-employed and entrepreneur. I think many people actually use it interchangeably, which is an absolutely wrong thing to do. I think if somebody wants to be engaged and want to be
Yeah,
self-dependent, that's
yeah,
absolutely fine starting something.
yeah,
But
yeah,
when it comes to entrepreneur, it's a different ball game
yeah.
altogether. And
Altogether, yeah.
good that you have sent this caveat also to everyone that it is a full-time thing. No matter what you are doing, you are always an
Yeah,
entrepreneur, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you'll have to
Actually, a
be.
lot of sorry to interrupt. Actually, a lot of good places, good workplaces give you work-life balance much better than an entrepreneurship would, because they make sure that you don't take after hours work. They make sure you have time for your family. So if
Right.
you're looking at that, there are specific kind of companies that you can look at which will provide you that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that's a very very good advice to people who are looking for something like this. That sometime from outside it looks very fascinating. People go by social media post and their pictures, etc. And the awards that they hold, that is obviously is very inspiring. And someone like you, when you speak, I think you inspire a lot of people. But there is a lot of hard work that is involved, the kind of lot of traveling, etc. So one of the most important lessons that you have just mentioned is that it's not just the craft or the skill that you have is enough. You need to have a holistic idea about the entire business things and what it takes. So to become an entrepreneur, you must have that understanding of the business, how a business runs. Okay. And some
Absolutely.
of the points that you have just mentioned, I think I completely buy with that. Is
I
there
would
any?
want to add on something there. It is okay to understand your skill set and employ the correct people to help you with it also. For
Right.
example, if you can identify that your skill set is making lovely, handbags, but you do not have the business acumen, all you need to do is accept it, analyze it, and have the right partner who will be able to invest that much amount of time with you, because building something ground up takes a lot more effort than joining a ready company. That it's difficult to get manpower which trusts you or has faith in you at that nascent stage. However, as you said, it's essential that that person himself or herself has the business acumen. It is also okay to understand the lack of it and find the right partner or service provider
Right.
to help
Okay.
them.
Okay. So having a holistic understanding of the business, because there are many aspects from finance to operations to HR to managements, for marketing. These are
Sales.
some of the broad things, and then within these broad things, there are so many other things. Then audit, then compliance, and all those things. So many things are
True.
there, and
True.
uh, so you'll have to have that understanding. And I think sometimes it actually helps you if you have worked somewhere, maybe in some companies for a couple of years, etc. Maybe you will always have an understanding. And maybe after that, people can also try, because setting it up from the scratch sometime might be very very challenging. We want to get into the next thing that I wanted to ask you is that for a business, like in fact, for that matter, for any business, you need to work with a lot of stakeholders. For example, apart from while servicing a client, because you are mainly into service, where you create something for someone based on their requirement. Okay. Now you have a team who does the design, who have a team, operational team, you have a team who does the construction, looks after the vendors, etc. You have got a finance team, and at the same time you have got a client service team. Okay, so with so many things there, uh, what is your work style? When you need to work with so many different stakeholders. Now, for why I'm saying is this, because when you run a small, say you have a boutique and you sell certain things in a particular, say high street or in a mall, you have a limited stakeholders to take care. One is your customer. That's very very important. You need to get great customer service, and you have certain vendors who will supply materials. So it is more, so more or less that, you have got a POS, you have got an accounting software, you use that, fine. But for your kind of things, for that matter, anyone who are into manufacturing or into service, where many stakeholders are involved. So how do you approach and how do you prioritize? That's very, very important. Then which one is more important? How do you do that? That I wanted to understand, and maybe rest of the people will be also
That is
benefiting
very
from
true.
this.
Time management, we all have the same amount of days and same amount of hours in a day. And it is absolutely the biggest journey that you would make is from a small to a medium sized company, where these challenges are very pertinent. Because as you rightly said, when it's a small company, you've got 10 clients, you are very hands on, you are looking at it yourself, you've got a very close knit of team, and you're working well with them. Whereas if you are looking at a place where there are, many further different clients, and you have to manage that, then what I firstly recommend, and my journey in this was, I started to reflect more on my inner clients than the external clients. Because I certainly alone cannot accomplish anything. Is an understanding and an acceptance that needs to come when you're making that journey, because it's no longer your company. I do not call it my company at all, and it's not. It's a private limited company owned by all of us together. And that acceptance for an entrepreneur sometimes is difficult, because they are coming from a way of being their own boss, taking all required actions, and being a part of the authority structure in such a way that there is no place for either discussions or a hierarchy, a hierarchical authority system. So first is, I started to invest more on internal clients, which are my employees, spending more time with them than the clients, because they started to service the clients. So the first step that you take is create a hierarchy and give enough authority when you're giving responsibilities. That is something that I think entrepreneurs are honestly not very good at, because they want to be their own boss. Was probably the first reason why they started the journey alone instead of being a part of a service setup. So to be able to take that step and to be able to give authority of decision with or without your acceptance, or with or without your approval, I think is a big step that helped me. I have got my project managers, I have got my design leads, I have got my yeah. So I think being able to invest more time internally is the first thing. Secondly, to be able to give authority to the people who are also, at the end of the day, have got the responsibilities without authority. So you have to
Mhm.
share, even if it at times is going against maybe your ingrained, to be able
Mhm.
to take that call and let them maybe make mistakes or create something wonderful out of it. So that is how it reduces my my stress, by sharing it with the employees, the same way that we share our rewards, we share our revenue, we share our growth. We also have to share our vision in a way that they all are a part of it, and you have actually got people who will handhold you through a journey.
It's very interesting, and let me tell you why I asked this particular question. Is that in the last 1.5 year, I had an opportunity to interact with some of the good entrepreneurs who have already scaled up, or some of them are in the process of scaling it up. And I see sometimes it becomes a very very personality driven, and everybody is. And there is only one boss. Almost everything, everybody is reporting to only one person, and it's very heartening to see that you have created a structure, you have empowered them to a certain level where they don't need to come to you for everything. So that's very 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 interesting. Usually this kind of structure we see in corporate. I think this is something that you have actually brought. I think this is one mistake. What I found in many of the organization is that everything is decided by one or two persons. That if it is two brothers or two partners, then everything has to come to them, in spite of
Right,
having so many professionals. I think
right.
this is something very good. I think
Thank you.
that is important, and this will also help you to retain some of your talent, because they will
Yes, of
also
course.
feel empowered. Otherwise,
Empowered.
they will see
Absolutely.
they have all the responsibility. They will be held accountable for everything, but they don't have anything to
Absolutely.
do. Neither,
Absolutely.
and their team members below also will get to know. No, eventually my boss does not know anything, or rather does not have any power. All I need to do
Absolutely.
is to speak to the ma'am. But
Absolutely.
she is the final boss. You know,
And there
although it
have
is
been, I have done that journey where there have been conflicting point of views. So
right.
that is a time where you need to take a step back and have faith in the person that you're obviously empowering. And that is the difficult bit, because entrepreneur. But I have had, as you said, the service industry experience where I've had that kind of empowerment, which is why I speak so fondly of them even now. So I think, yes, that corporate experience, rather than just jumping into something of your own, is obviously something I always recommend.
Yeah, I think you still have 8 members from your early
Initial
days.
10. Right,
People who actually, I can say, was co-founded your company. You
right,
have still retained them, and that is actually a
right,
testimony to uh, that loyalty, and that
right,
kind of affinity and association that they
right,
have with your
right,
brand and with
right,
you.
right.
I'm sure they must have also grown in the hierarchy also, some of them. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think this is how we when you work in different organization in different industry, we bring good practices. I think this is something some of the listeners who are interested and who must be wondering how to go about it will get a clue. Now, here is a little. I'm taking a cue from this, and organization who are headed by women like you, someone who is very educated, smart, etc., dynamic, running a show, have scaled the business, and will have a lot of male employees as well. Okay, so they are all reporting to you. How does it? How is it? Because usually, many people find it difficult to accept. Many people find it, little awkward to have a women boss. So in your
Yeah,
organizations, did you have any kind of challenges, any kind of issues? We get to
right,
hear a lot of things in other places, but I want to hear
right.
from you for in your own organization, because today you have got 60 member
Yeah,
team, and I'm sure some
yeah.
of them will be from the uh,
More experience, elder
more
than me.
experience,
Yeah,
yeah,
all
yeah,
kinds.
and the male
Yeah.
members, yeah.
So, firstly, I would like to add on to that I also have contractors like plumbers, bricklayers, carpenters, really well built, big, tall workmen, the semi
Right,
skilled and the skilled laborers who also work under me. So, it's even more difficult because you're not only working with your white collared job people who
right,
know how to behave in the environment of an office. So, but Jamil, I don't know whether it's me or I've been lucky, but I have only had positives as a woman, because I really feel that doors open more easier. And once you are in, if you have the same clarity as any other gender neutral, whatever person, then I don't think I have ever faced any negativity. Whereas it has actually helped me. Maybe there are times where me asking for something kindly works better than a male colleague asking for something kindly, because obviously you have, plus we have, I think, 60% or 50% women workforce, out of which around 20% are return to work mothers who have got young children, who work with flexible working hours if we can manage, and who we essentially try to nurture for and care. So I
Mhm.
think we've got a very, very healthy set of people. We've got men, for example, those early, some of them have now got married, have got put their kids into school. So it's become a little bit like a very safe haven and a very, we've never had any incident of any discomfort that any woman employee has faced. But yes, coming to the point, I must appreciate all my departmental heads, because I have never felt any biasness for the fact that I was, a female boss or anything like that. One employee I would, while you talk about it, I can think of, in one of our branches. I think somebody overheard, was a little not okay from of taking instructions from a lady boss, though it
Hmm.
was not me, it was someone one down from me.
Right.
And I think that person actually just phased off. He left in about 2 3 months. So each to his own. It's something that you would have to accept. The change is happening, but it will still take time. But
Hmm.
thankfully, I have had, I am blessed that I'm a woman entrepreneur. Blessed I'm a woman anyway. So I have not faced any
Okay.
any kind of
Okay.
negativity, only
Okay.
positives.
Okay, before I open it up to the other members here who have already joined, if they have got any questions, I will ask them. But I have got one last questions. You are into the, and now I'm coming to your, particularly in your own domain, which is where create beautiful space, whether it is an office space or a home, of of various kind of structures, themes, uh, you know um, uh, now here I just want to understand it, these days in architecture, in creating beautiful space, you use, or rather you think a lot of models, lot of ideas which are sustainable, which helps the other artisans, other people, uh, apart from being very sustainable in terms of energy consumptions, in terms of using of frugal measures. Are you doing something around that? Is this a conscious effort from your side also to do things which will be which will have less carbon footprint, which will use more indigenous product? Are you doing some kind of design thinking in your work? Because in your work, a lot of energy is required. Okay, a lot of resources are required. Plus, since you are very fond of the traditional art and crafts in some of the interiors, how do you integrate them, and have you started doing it consciously? I just want to understand that.
Yes, of course. Now, there are two kinds of products that we can think about here. One is the product itself as a raw material, which could be
Hmm.
used in designs and concepts. And one is the service of an artisan who is bringing you a completed product. So, either it's a raw material or a completed product. So, as probably you're aware, completed products, we are very closely associated with a lot of artisans through Bangla Natok, which we are trying to promote. Now, the challenge being that a lot of us, when we want to do up our homes, because it's a new home, we are looking at a lot of new look, new products, and might not be comfortable in going back to our roots and showcasing art styles which are connected with a more traditional outlook. Because the properties are smaller, apartments are smaller. People want straight line, very functional items rather than artistic or heavier products, which will probably make the place look smaller or not reflect as much light. So they are looking at more Scandinavian or straight line finishes in artifacts as well as products. But coincidentally, some of the products that we have had forever, for example, maybe Madur or Chatai. So when I visited the Milan Design Week this year, I saw a huge usage of rattan, which is very traditionally belonging to Bengal and other parts of India, where we have just about woken up to using rattan and madur in every kind of product like wardrobes or ceiling or different wall panels, whereas they have actually, these Italian companies have taken it further down and they are actually preparing cabinets and bar units and various different styles with a lot of bamboo products and a lot of chatai products. So that is the material section which we are trying to consciously bring in. The second being the artifacts, like, for example, if you talk about a terracotta style painting or a terracotta style product, what happens is it clashes with the new age designs, because those designs have not evolved. Their workmanship has not evolved. It remains the same quality, which is a great quality generation wise. So that is where we have started to infuse a little more development and involved process, because it has to start root down. I cannot take that product and put it into a newer home. I have to be involved at a stage where the designs are happening, where the manufacturing is also happening in a way that it is in sync with the newer age design. So only using those products is actually not going to work. We have to have a input from the design stage, stage, that okay, this is the product they have, like Shabai. They have these amazing Shabai artists. So we have given them a lot of ideas which we are now being able to inculcate in our designs, rather than working with their existing design segment.
Wow, wonderful. I think good that you have helped us or helped me also to differentiate these two things. That one is that what will go into the construction, into the design of the actual construction of the work, and another thing is that how do you fit into those finished products into your theme of decor and look and feel and then aesthetics. I think that's what you actually meant. There are two completely two different things.
Yeah,
These days, we see a lot of people are going back to this traditional way of
yeah,
making their house, whether it is
yeah,
mud or the
yeah,
stones.
yeah.
I know someone through a common friend, someone who has gone to Indonesia, which is which is a very popular place for bamboo architecture.
Bamboo, wood, yeah, Bali.
Bamboo and wood. So, the way they use the bamboo, I have not seen anywhere. A couple of TED talk is there for the members. They can go and actually see there, and how beautiful structures that they make. And these are not to just to showcase on a presentation. I mean, these are actual structures, and people are living there, and these are so durable, so wonderful and sustainable. I
Yeah,
think I know someone who has gone to Indonesia and has studied there and coming back and then actually trying to do something
nice.
around that. So those are wonderful things. I think this is one area where sustainability can really help, and we can use a lot of traditional materials to use that. And many of our artisans, maybe some of our entrepreneurs who are already engaged into this kind of things, they can also come and pitch their products, their ideas with you. They can also collaborate with you. You can also help them and tell them that what kind of products will be required, what kind of products your clients are actually looking for to decorate their house, etc. I think that's wonderful. Now, Abhisha and Arina, I would like to open it up for the people who have joined here. If anyone wants to ask any questions, otherwise, maybe we'll ask one or two questions and then wrap it up. So, if there are questions, we can take them. If you have got any questions from anyone already in the chat box, or maybe they have written it separately, so if you can ask Chitralekha, I think she can take those questions. Tonosri, Orina, anyone or any member, those who have already joined and listening to this program. Yeah, Partho. So Partho Ghosh, he wants to say something. Partho, hi. Please, please put your
How
question.
does one graduate from being a self-employed person to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think this question was the. I would definitely ask Chitralekha to answer this, although she has actually touched upon this in the beginning. So, Chitralekha, if you can just specifically, if you answer these questions, uh,
Yeah.
keeping
The
the
first is, yeah, the first thing you would need to do is firstly understand whether you really want it. Because a lot of people get into business for different reasons. So when you are wanting to actually grow your company, you have to understand that, did you start this? What was the vision that you started it with? Was it because a lifestyle choice or a personality choice where you wanted to be the master of your own time, as I mentioned? In which case, you should not graduate from a independent consultant to an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurship decision should only be taken if you want to scale up. So the first thing you need to see is your product worth or your service worth scaling up? Is there a need of this product to the society in a way that you would be able to generate at least a 10 crore turnover over the month? Is it going to sustain all your operational costs? Are you wanting to build something bigger? These are the questions first you need to ask yourself. Is there also do a feasibility study on the product or the service? Is there a solution you're providing? Is there a gap that you're mending? These are the questions once asked, and you think you have the right service or the product. Then is the second question: do I have the business acumen? If I don't, who can help me with it? So identifying the people who can provide you that support to help you identify things like how to manage sales, how to manage operations, to create processes and systems. Because the minute you scale up, your team grows. Monitoring of the team becomes a full-time job, which is obviously not possible for you to manage and the business together. So that is something that you need to do. You need to get the right people. And if you feel you have the business acumen, you have the right product, then the world is your oyster. Obviously, you already know how to take it forward. And if you don't, you have to get the right people in, concentrate on your team, and obviously try and keep mending or finding the gap where you can create a niche. Again, every market has a niche, and you can create a niche at any point of time. So one is your bread and butter sales, and one is your niche product sales. Your bread and butter sales pays for your operational daily costs, and your niche is what scales you up to a different segment. So these are the questions which will help you to bridge that gap.
Yeah, thank you. I just would to like to add on from my experience of working in corporate, where
Please,
whenever we launch a
please.
new product or a new category, how do we do that? No, this is very similar to what you have just said. Basically, we look at three things. First is that how big is the market for that particular category, okay,
Correct.
where you are going to
Correct.
play. Second thing is that is it a growing market? What is the trend? What is the consumer trend? That is, or is it a declining market? Is it a matured market? Is there any? That is, what is the competitive scale? Is there any other player? What are the how many players are there? Are they big? Can you compete with them? That is another thing. Another important thing is that is the business or the product that you are planning to launch, is it profitable?
Right.
There is enough margin? These are three four
Yeah.
things that's very very important. Once you see that these are things, then you need to see whether your organizations has got the capacity or the skill and the competency to address those things. So only when you
Right.
say yes to all these three, four, five things, then only you should go ahead. This is how in our corporate world we do whenever you launch a new product, a new business line, etc. And I think
Analysis. Yeah.
something which is very, very similar what you have just told. I think it's wonderful.
Right.
Yeah, right. I thought I'll just reinforce this with my experience of
Please. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure. Sure. Sure.
how it happens there. I mean, this can happen with someone who is already running a business, and whenever they want to launch a new product, they must evaluate
Sure.
in that way
Absolutely.
only. That how big is the
The
size, is
feasibility.
it
Yeah.
visibility, is it growing? Is there enough margin? Do I have the
Yeah.
capability to make that product, etc.,
And
etc.
also, if they are unable of reaching those parameters on their own, they can
Hmm.
also take in a expert feasibility analyst who will
Hmm.
do the feasibility study of the market, and also in comparison check the product and give you a report which will help you to make that call or
Hmm.
take that call.
Right, right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I will just go to the last segment. Anyone? Orina, any questions that you have? Someone has written, someone has asked. Usually you record them.
We have not yet got any other questions. So we have got a lot of thumbs up from a lot of entrepreneurs. They've been listening from
Mhm.
Facebook Live also.
Okay. So before we wrap it up, I would like to hear from Chitralekha. Give us two, three don'ts that you must not do as an entrepreneur. Assuming that someone has become an entrepreneur, has started that journey, now have plans to scale up. Give us two, three don'ts that they should not do, and give us two, three real good practices they must adopt no matter which kind of business they are in, whether it is a product or a service, whether it is city based or you know a multi-city or a or present across geography. So whatever is the scale, you give us some don'ts and some do's from your point of view, based on your journey.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, a don't would be never forget what it was to be like when you were an employee. I think it's similar to when you become a parent and you
mhm.
forget what it was like to be when you were a child. And
Okay.
we always, when we are young, we always feel like I'm not going to do this with my kids, or I'm not going to, take this way forward. And then we end up doing the same, and you're like suddenly realize, oh my god, I'm my mother. So no offense to my mom, she's fantastic, but just general example. So when we become a boss or an entrepreneur, I think we forget to think like an employee. I am actually feeling jittery that I have not reached office yet. So I follow same timelines as any employee. Jamilda knows that. I follow all the protocol that a normal leave. If even I don't even remember taking leaves, but even when I do, from funding to leaves to timeline, I follow the same discipline that a HR expects from a normal employee, which is probably a bit too much. Everyone doesn't need to do that. I find that comforting. And when I'm there doing that, I feel I set an example. So that is something. Don't forget that you are where you were an employee and what was it that you wanted from your company to make you feel more connected.
Mhm.
Second thing is, do not think the company money is your money. That is very, 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 very important. There is absolutely no connection between a salary that you draw or probably a profit percentage that you have with the company turnover. There is zero connect. I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs overdraw from project money for their own finances, and that is a death trap. I'm totally, totally, against this. And please make sure that you, even if you are just a 5 member team, keep your account separate.
Keep.
Uh,
Keep
Can
your
you can you repeat
accounts
this?
separate, your personal and your company account
I
separate.
think this is a very important point, very important lesson, at least for the first generation women entrepreneurs
Yeah,
to
because you
make
tend to
this separate. Yeah.
lose the the fine line. So it is very, very important. And I've seen a lot of companies go down for it as well. Um, yeah, and the do is continue to have the same passion that you did on the first day, on the ninth year or the 10th year. That is difficult, I know, because honestly, I was going to actually tell this in the beginning or in the middle somewhere, that if you really enjoy what you do, for example, I did, or my baba did in sale, he had a lovely job, he enjoyed his career, and so did I. As I said, I was asked, then do not leave just for the sake of it. Because suppose you're a good, let me give you an example. My 3D artist, one of my 3D artists who is fantastic in his job, he sits there day in day out doing what he loves, but I don't remember the last time I could give a full day to designing, which is what I love, because I'm running a business. So if you really love the skill that you have and you want to spend more and more time there, then do not get into business, because you will have no time left which you can dedicate solely to what you enjoy doing. That is something that I think a lot of people need to rethink before they, because it's a fad right now, to jump into this entrepreneurship wagon. And you do not feel that, but why? Am I not happy? Do I not enjoy what I'm doing? What is the reason why I want to do this? So, as I said, an artist who opens up a business is probably spending 5 hours in the day just talking to clients, managing sales, managing an Instagram account, and not drawing or painting, which is the reason why they initially started the business. So yes, maybe these two, three things. If
Yeah,
people could,
I
yeah,
think so. These do's are obviously one do, which is whatever you do with a lot of passion, with all the energy that you have. Remember why you started this business, and continue on your journey with the same vigor and passion. Just on the don'ts, very, very important, as Rorina has rightly said. I think the first thing is this: walk the talk as a leader of the organization, as an entrepreneur. Whatever you say, so that people have someone to emulate. It's not that you give pep talks and then you don't follow the same thing, whether it is discipline or any other things, right? And the second thing is very, very important: don't siphon off money from your business for your personal account. This financial integrity is very, very important. This is going to damage your business in the long run. Sometimes people might think it is okay, but you are absolutely right. I have seen in many places, and this happens rampantly, especially those who are into this micro and small scale.
Small
This
time.
happens
Yeah.
rampantly. And distinguish between what you are entitled as an employee and what your company is trying to achieve. Two things are different.
Correct.
Company has got a certain objective. You as an employee should have your own objectives, right? At the
Correct.
end of the day, everybody is professional, whoever is working there, you know and I and that's how it should be. I think, Chitralekha, it has been wonderful knowing your business and knowing some of the insight that you have shared with so candidly. It's wonderful talking to you. I really enjoyed the session. Orina, over to you to conclude this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We enjoyed a lot. Uh, we have, I think our entrepreneurs will take note on the do's and don'ts and the points and the journey that you have shared, especially interior designing entrepreneurs who are pursuing interior designing as their career. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs who've been pursuing designing and interior designing. We have some very promising entrepreneurs from Nepal, but I think she got busy last moment, so she couldn't join. That is why we always record our sessions. So we'll get back to you. So we have this network of entrepreneurs. Many of them can't join because of their prior commitments in work, maybe. So that is why we keep it recorded. And if they come back, they can always come back to us since we are a kind of a network. So we will get back to you with any queries. The whole idea is to strengthen the network that we have built over the last 2-3 years and to continue doing that. And thank you so much on behalf of US Consulate, on behalf of Contact Base. We thank you for taking your time out and sharing your journey with us, with our entrepreneurs. And we'll get back to
Thank you,
you.
Arina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamilda. Thank you for your time. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Jamilda, for hosting, for moderating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.